of the colors by the Civil Air Patrol Squadron 85 of Placerville, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of our national anthem. Scholar Grace McCoy will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please remove all hats, hand over heart, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Thank you. You may be seated.
We observe today the celebration of freedom.
Today, America sets aside to honor millions of our finest heroes. They are the men and women who defend our country and preserve our peace and freedom. Each time our nation has called upon our citizens to serve, the best have come forward. Where do we get such brave young Americans. We can and should take the opportunity on this Veterans Day to remember their gift to us. Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they've suffered the scars of war. All those who have served in America's uniform deserve the nation's thanks. Words could never express what the patriotism of generation after generation of American heroes means for the very soul of our nation. Because of you, America's best days are still to come. And with faith, freedom, and courage, there's no limit to what America can and will accomplish.
The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service around the globe. They called to bear the burden, a struggle against the common enemies of man. United, there is little we cannot do. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
Throughout our history, America's men in uniform have always been ready when the cause of freedom called, and they've never let us down. Our most recent heroes, those still serving, carried on with the same dedication and valor as their colleagues before them. If we remember that their dedicated service is in defense of our freedom, and if we understand that they put their lives on the line so we might enjoy justice and liberty, then their sacrifices will not be in vain. This is our obligation, and this has been the spirit of Veterans Day from the beginning.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Well, good morning. Welcome. It is an absolute privilege to gather here today to recognize and honor our Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Space Force, and Coast Guard veterans who have sacrificed both in war and in peace. Welcome. Thank you for coming and allowing us the opportunity to express our sincere gratitude. My name is Lauren Hines, and I have the privilege of serving John Adams Academy, El Dorado Hills, as the Operations Administrator, and the honor of facilitating our service today. Each of you here today, veterans, and your brothers and sisters in arms across the nation took an oath not to protect America or to protect you and I, but took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. For that, we are extremely grateful. In supporting and defending the Constitution, in supporting and defending the Constitution, our veterans protect America and the American way of life. For our founders knew that if we lose the Constitution, we have already lost our nation. Whether our veterans served at home or abroad, whether they carried a gun or a pen, whether they flew a plane or kept it maintained, all veterans offer themselves in service, and each has been critical in our success as a nation. Thus, Veterans Day serves as an important time to honor our veterans, those brave men and women, whether they be one of the roughly 19 million living veterans in the United States today, those who have served in previous generations and past, or those who gave, as Lincoln put, that last full measure of devotion in service to their country. We gather today to recognize your tremendous sacrifices in defending the freedoms we enjoy as Americans today. We want to express sincere gratitude to all our veterans. Your sacrifices have ensured that the principles of our country, which are true and good, have been protected and preserved for all Americans and for posterity. You sacrificed so that peace and freedom could prevail. and we are all grateful for your service. It is easy to identify our veterans when they are active duty service members visible in their uniforms. However, the majority of veterans we honor today no longer wear the uniform. Many have gone on to become teachers, police officers, firefighters, engineers, authors, doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, neighbors. Whether they wear the military uniform today or in days past, veterans represent an unwavering dedication and exemplify the highest ideals of service to our nation. Finally, we would like to acknowledge and pay respect today to the families of those who serve. The acts of sacrifice and its impact extend beyond the person wearing the uniform to include their wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, and all those who go on without their loved ones for long periods of time when deployed and into harm's way. We want to express a special thank you to all those families who have shared their special hero with our nation. Happy Veterans Day. A group of our 7th grade scholars will give motions for In Flanders Field. In Flanders Field, one of history's most famous wartime poems was written in 1915 during the First World War by Canadian officer and surgeon John McCrae. It helped popularize the red poppy as a symbol of remembrance. By 1917, In Flanders Fields, known throughout the English-speaking world. It was used to further the war effort to raise money for the troops and to help recruit American soldiers as the United States mobilized to enter the war. John McCrae became a household name in the United States.
Poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place and in the sky, the lark shall bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours, so hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
This next poem, Charge of the Light Brigade, was written to memorialize a suicidal charge by light cavalry over open terrain by British forces in the Battle of Balaclava, Ukraine, in the Crimean War. 247 men of the 637 in the charge were killed or wounded. Britain entered the war, which was fought by Russia against Turkey, Britain, and France, because Russia sought to control the Dardanelles. Russian control of the Dardanelles threatened British sea routes. Many in the West best know of this war today because of Florence Nightingale, who trained and led nurses aiding the wounded during the war in a manner innovative for those times. The war was also noteworthy as an early example of the work of modern war correspondents.
Half a league, half a league, half a league onward. All in the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered. Stormed out with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well. Into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Flashed all their sabers bare, flashed as they turned in air, sabering their gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered. Plunged through the battered smoke, right through the line they broke, Cossack and Russian, reeled from the saber stroke, shattered and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered, stormed out with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell. They that had fought so well came from the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell. All that was left of them, left of 600. When could their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made, all the world wondered. Honor the charge they made, honor the light brigade, noble 600.
Thank you, scholars, and are we back? We're back. Good. Thank you, scholars. Thank you, Mr. Flores, for your leadership of this group. And I'd like to invite, our scholar Bianca Taginad, Scholar Gov President, to share some remarks.
Welcome, honored guests, veterans, scholars, admin, family, and friends. Today we come together to honor the men and women who have served our country, those who have answered the call to defend this nation and its ideals. As we do, I want to reflect not only on their bravery and sacrifice, but also on the state of our country today, the divisions we face, and how we can overcome them, just as the veterans who have came before us have taught us. It's impossible to ignore the issues that divide America today. Political differences run deep, and communities are polarized. It's hard not to wonder if we're losing something precious that once bound America together. But today, I think of the lessons we can learn from our veterans, those who have faced unimaginable hardship, and yet have shown us time and time again that unity is stronger than division. One of the most painful chapters in our history is the Bataan Death March. In 1942, after the surrender of American and Filipino forces to the Japanese in the Philippines during World War II, nearly 75,000 men, American and Filipino soldiers, were forced to march over 60 miles in the brutal heat, starving, beaten, and tortured along the way. It is estimated that up to 18,000 men died in that march, and those who survived carried scars that would never fade, 2 of them including my great-grandfathers. The Bataan Death March stands as one of the most horrific moments of the war and one of the darkest tests of human endurance and spirit. However, even in the face of cruelty and death, the soldiers who survived didn't see each other through the lens of their differences. They didn't fight for political ideologies, but for each other, their brothers in arms. In the worst of times, with death closing in, the bonds formed in that hellish march were not based on where they came from, what they believed, or what their political leanings were. They were based on something more enduring, a shared sense of duty, of responsibility to one another, and to the idea that no matter what happened, they wouldn't leave each other behind. Those who endured the Bataan Death March knew that survival wasn't just about themselves, it was about the man beside them, the one who depended on them. It was about a bond that transcended all the things that could have divided them. And that's something we must hold on to, especially in the world we live in today. Our veterans, the men and women who have served in every conflict from World War II to this day, they served for all of us. They fought for the rights we enjoy, for the principles of freedom, justice, and equality that transcend any political divide. They gave their time, their strength, and in many cases their lives, not for a government or a leader, but for this country, for the idea of the United States of America. We are facing divisions that feel insurmountable at times, whether in our politics, our communities, or even within our families. But the story of our veterans, those who survived the Bataan Death March and those who served in every conflict, before and after, remind us that even when things seem darkest, we have the power to come together. The values that our veterans fought for are not bound by party lines, nor are they defined by who's in power. They are about something greater than us: freedom, justice, and a country united in purpose. Just as they leaned on each other to survive, we too can find a way to move forward together. The road ahead may be difficult, but we have the strength to overcome it. We've done it before, in times of war, in times of crisis, and in times when it seemed like our country might not survive. We have found a way to come back together. We've rebuilt, we've healed, and we've emerged stronger because we remembered what truly unites us. On this Veterans Day, let us honor the sacrifices made by those who have served, especially those who have endured the unimaginable, like the survivors of the Bataan Death March. Let us remember that they did not fight for division, they fought for unity, each other, and for a country that, despite its flaws, could always rise above and find a way to move forward. So yes, our nation is facing challenges, but we are not powerless. Just as our veterans have shown us, unity is possible, even in the darkest of times, and it's up to us to carry that lesson forward, to listen and respect one another, and to put aside our differences for the common good. To all the veterans who have served, especially those who have fought in the most difficult circumstances, thank you. Your sacrifices are a reminder that no matter how divided we may seem, we are stronger together. God bless you, God bless our veterans and troops, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Bianca. We will now hear some more special music from third grade scholars singing Old Glory. As you will know, Old Glory is a nickname for the flag of the United States. The original Old Glory was a flag owned by the 19th century American sea captain William Driver. He flew the flag during his entire career at sea and later brought it to Nashville, Tennessee, where he settled. Enjoy the song.
Oh
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Bernstein and Mrs. Kling, for directing the third grade scholars of Ms. Hobbs Doris's class. Thank you. I now have the distinct privilege to introduce our keynote speaker. Our speaker today comes from the tremendous distance and faraway town of Cameron Park. How was your trip? Good, good. Doug McNett is a devoted husband to his incredible wife, Katie, and proud father to his three John Adams scholars, Gavin, Jaden, and Camden. Doug is a veteran of the United States Air Force, where he served as a staff sergeant and critical care combat medic. As one of less than 100 airmen trained in critical care, Staff Sergeant McNett's service took him to Yokota Air Base in Japan, where he provided emergency room care, as well as serving with the United States Army at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany, where he played an essential role in treating critically injured service members from the theaters of war in Iraq and Afghanistan. His exemplary service included a deployment to Afghanistan, where he provided critical care in the ICU at Bagram Air Base to United States service members, coalition forces, local nationals, and enemy combatants. Following his military service, Doug has since dedicated his life to pastoral ministry, where he currently serves as the pastor of adults and students at Foothills Church in the faraway land of Cameron Park. My wife and I, as a side note, we're blessed to have Doug's leadership and mentorship in our kids' lives as their high school youth pastor. If you were to ask Doug what his greatest joy in life is, he'd say it's coaching our John Adams scholar athletes to victory on the court or out on the pitch. It is my distinct privilege to welcome to the stage a husband, father, pastor, coach, and my personal friend, Air Force veteran, Staff Sergeant Doug McNett.
Well, good morning, and before we get too far, I just want to say, go Patriots! I am deeply honored at the privilege that your leadership would allow me the moment to just pause in our week and just say thank you. To just offer a moment of gratitude to the men and women who are here with us this morning, and to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your dedication to our country. Thank you for the sacrifices that you made while serving in our armed forces. Thank you so much. I would like to share a number of things today. I want to be both an encouragement to you as veterans, but I also want to be a coach or mentor or teacher to our scholars. Each of us who serve carry stories with us. We have stories from either the academy or OTS or basic training or tech school, or AIT school, or A school. You have those memories. One of my favorites was waking up in the middle of the night to a drill instructor crawling under my bed. And when I looked down at him, he just looked up at me with the scariest face I'd ever seen and went, shh, as he kept crawling under our beds. You have memories of long days during exercises, night shift during those exercises in full chem gear, those rubber gloves, the sweat, sitting in the hallway just waiting for something to happen for hours. You remember the showering outside and the stepping in all the different buckets, washing off the chem on our gear. We have memories of endless hours of computer training. We have endless hours of sitting, waiting, watching the screen, pushing refresh for those next PCS orders, the anxiety of finding out after your AIC school or tech school or A school, where's your first duty station? Hours of waiting to find out, okay, you just did a year with that supervisor, who's the next one? And then when you see them, you go, times of sacrifice, times of resilience, times of joy when you make that rank or you get recognized with that coin. Also times when you had to pull out courage. Courage to pull a trigger, or to continue moving, or to pull a person, or to go to sleep with those memories. You are a living legacy that this nation recognizes. You are a living legacy that allows us to stand today and enjoy the benefits that you have provided through your time, through your commitment, and through your sacrifice. Veterans Day is a reminder for all of us, regardless of whether you have served or not, to honor not just what has been done, but who these veterans are as people. I remember I was in Afghanistan, and we had a soldier come in who was in a firefight, and he wasn't doing well. As you heard, I focused, my attention was all on critical care, so the sickest of the sick. And as we were treating him, we got him stabilized, and I stepped out, and his squad was there waiting for him. And we started talking, and I thanked them for what they were doing, let them know that he was okay, and it was time for them to head back out. And one of the soldiers said, "Hey, do you mind taking a look at something for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And he goes, "This guy got shot." And I was like, "What? Why are you standing here?" He goes, "Oh, no, it was a few days ago." So what does that mean? And he said, yeah, he got shot in the back. We just haven't had time to take care of it. And so sure enough, I went over, I asked him to take off his flak vest, and there was holes in his clothing. So I asked him to take off his shirt, and sure enough, it had gone just between the flak vest and got underneath and pierced his back. And so I asked him to sit down as I pulled a bullet from his back, told him that we were going to have to keep him for a couple days, get him some antibiotics, and he would not have it. He had work to do. He had people to protect, men that he was brothers with, and he had to get back to work. So, like we do in the military, we follow all rules and all laws. Patched him up and sent him out. Didn't tell anybody, because I would have kept him back. See, those are the types of people who are sitting before you in this room. My son often reminds me, Jaden, that he's built different. But the reality is, friends, veterans are built different. They're just built different. They are strong, they are passionate, they are dedicated, they're sacrificial, they're courageous. So veterans, thank you for being built different. I believe that we share a lot in common as veterans. things that not many people relate to. I remember coming back from Afghanistan and having one of my first meals back in Germany, and I was sitting having lunch with a friend who had gotten back just before me, and we were just talking about some of our experiences, and a friend of mine who I'd known for years came up and was so excited, and she said, how was it? How was the experience? And I said, Captain Rawls, it was a while, and as I was speaking, another old friend of ours walked up and started talking to Kawana, and they got into this conversation and started laughing, and I just kind of sat there with Ryan, my friend, and they just kept going, and she looked at me, and she goes, all right, good to see you, Doug. Not many people can relate to what we've done, to what we've seen, what we've smelled, what we've heard, but we can. Not many people can relate to what our spouses have felt, saying goodbye for who knows, 15-month deployment, 12-month, 6-month deployment, hoping, trusting that it's going to be okay. People don't understand what it's like for you and I to lay in bed and hear rockets coming over, and you're just hoping it doesn't hit you. And then you having to share that example and that story with your spouse, or even wondering if you should. But we do. See, it's not about individual achievement in the military. It's not about individual success. It's not about what we have done. It's about who we are collectively as a people. The veterans sitting among you, scholars, these grandparents, these friends, these parents, these aunts and uncles, these mentors and coaches, they have chosen a path marked by sacrifice and duty. Their service, collectively, represents the very best of what we stand for as a nation. And so, scholars, I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you to think about how you too can carry forward this legacy of service in your own way. You may not all wear the uniform someday. I totally get that. But you can still lead lives that honor and respect the freedoms and the values that we are so fortunate to have because of the veterans in this room and those who have gone before us. The people who have been willing to sacrifice so much that you may continue to enjoy the benefits that our Constitution affords us. Benefits like freedom of speech, the right to pursue our dreams, the ability to worship as we choose, the security to live in a nation governed by justice and equality under the law. These freedoms, friends, they're not just words on a paper. They are the very principles that define who we are as a nation. They're the privileges that you and I get to enjoy because of the dedication and the service of those who have served and those who continue to serve. And so as I look back and I reflect on those that I served with and those that I see here this morning, it is very clear that serving in the military, it's not about recognition or glory. Most military members, they don't serve to get medals and rank and public praise. No, we serve because we believe in protecting something bigger than ourselves. A belief in defending freedom, a standing up for what is right and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. A belief in the next generation, that's you, and those who are to follow you. A generation that deserves to have the freedoms and the rights that we have had and those who have gone before us. Veterans, the legacy of service that you have built is something that's not just going to affect the present, it's going to affect our future. You are a living legacy carried forward by every veteran who has served. who chooses to protect that Constitution, who chooses still today, even when taking off the uniform, fights for what is right. Scholars, as you go forward in life, you are going to have countless choices about how you live, about what you stand for, about how you're going to treat others. And while not all of you may put that uniform on, you're going to still have opportunities to serve. You may serve in your school, you may serve in your community, you may help those around you. You're going to find moments where you can step up, where you can do the right thing when it's difficult. Those are the moments that define who you are. For the veterans here, they can attest that service wasn't just a job. It became who we are. And it's something that continues even when the uniform comes off. Many of the veterans sitting before you serve in their communities as teachers and mentors and first responders and community leaders, as coaches, as pastors. This is a lifelong commitment to service. So, as you sit here today, surrounded by legends who have given so much, could you just stop for a second? Could you just ask yourself, how can I honor this legacy? How can I honor this legacy of service in my own life? How can I show respect and courage and kindness in the everyday choices that I make? Guys, not just once a year, not just on Veterans Day, but every day. Be different. So, as I finish up, I just remember that service is more than a single act. It's a way of life. It's a commitment to step up and a dedication to uphold the values that strengthen our nation. Thanks for being built different. Thank you for your commitment, for your sacrifice, for your service, for the time and the energy and the scars that you carry. Scholars, I need you to hear this. As Mr. Hines said, there are 19 million veterans in our country. We don't know, but approximately 15 to 16 million of those are combat veterans serving in foreign wars. And of those, hear me, 17 take their own lives every day. 17. Recognize their service, not just for words' sake, but because they carry a burden on their shoulders that you could never imagine. And so when you see a veteran, you don't just thank them. No, you see them and you honor them. So veterans, thank you for your resiliency. My hope is that though there are few of us, that we will continue, as we did in uniform, to stand together, unified as members of one United States military. And that we will continue to impact our communities and impact the next generation, encouraging them to continue freedom, strength, and to live by the values that make us who we are, built different. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Staff Sergeant McNett. I'd like to welcome back cantors as they sing the Armed Forces Medley. And now, most of you will likely be familiar, but as a reminder, please rise to be acknowledged during the song when you hear your branch of service being sung. Beautiful. Hello? Beautiful. Thank you very much, Cantores. Wonderful. I'd like to invite to the stage Michael Miller. Michael Miller, one of our senior scholars, will read the significance of the 13 folds of the flag before we present the flag to his father, Major Doug Miller, Army, in appreciation of his service. Gavin and Jaden McNett will follow along with the folding of the flag.
The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who have gave a portion of their lives in defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace and as well in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decantur, our country, in dealing with the other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they are found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to those who have entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, their loyalty and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold in the eyes of a Christian citizen represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 13th fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving us the rights, the privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
Thank you, Michael. Major Doug Miller has just completed his 20th year in the Army Reserves. He first served as a psychological operations NCO and later a logistics officer. He has deployed to Haiti, Bosnia, and Kuwait. Major Miller currently leads a field support team for the 303rd Information Operations Battalion. During his service tenure, he earned 2 Meritorious Service Medals, the Joint Meritorious Unit Award, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, and 2 Army Commendation Medals. We present the flag to Major Miller through his son, Michael Miller, in appreciation for his service today. Thank you, sir. And we have the distinct privilege of cantors singing yet again. Come on up. Thank you so much, cantors, and thank you so much, Mr. Grambo, for leading this wonderful group. At the conclusion of the song that they will sing, we will all... Wonderful. Thank you very much, Cantores. Please remain standing. Please remain standing while the Civil Air Patrol, Squadron 85 of Placerville, retires the colors. Can we thank our Civil Air Patrol Squadron today? Thank you.